and welcome to News from the Real World podcast, coming to you from the Sound Studio. I am Kat.
Atitra.
I'm Quinn.
Eleanor.
So I'm going to kick us off talking about some Disney copyright
It
issues.
seems like every week there's a Disney article.
Every week there's a copyright article and a Disney article.
The Mouse
Disney,
House, let's
yeah.
hear it.
So there were two articles this week, kind of relating to very similar things. The first was called Disney Sues Over Musical Featuring Spider-Man, Mary Poppins, and the Lion King by Eric Gardner. It was on HollywoodReporter.com, and it was a student pick. Essentially, this theater in Pennsylvania decided they wanted to do a musical review of famous Broadway hits. And they included things like The Producers and Billy Elliot and Jersey Boys, and they also had Lion King, Mary Poppins, and Spider-Man. And had people dressed up like Spider-Man that danced, and Mary Poppins flies through the air. And Disney took issue with this and decided that they were going to sue the company for copyright infringement. So that's one side of this. The other side is another article this week that was an editor pick called How the Makers of Escape from Tomorrow Made a Twisted Disney World Horror Without Disney's Okay by Hugh Hart, and it was on fastcocreate.com. So this article talks about this group of filmmakers that decided they wanted to make a secret horror film in Walt Disney World. And so the article explains kind of how they went about that, and surprisingly they weren't actually that secretive about it.
No.
They showed their cameras to people when they came in.
Yeah, but their cameras were the same.
Right,
It's like
as
they
everyone
weren't
else.
bringing
And they
full-on film
They did
production
things
cameras.
like use hand signals to say action and cut, so
Yeah.
they weren't
Cool.
yelling that they were filming.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, Disney has not sued them for this and has not said anything in the press or in public about this film. It was shown at Sundance, so
Yeah.
it's not like this is a secret, like no one has seen this. And so I'm interested, so because there's this kind of dichotomy of what Disney's decided to do and who they're suing and why, what do you guys
Yeah.
think? Is there a reason for it?
It seems sort of arbitrary, doesn't it?
No, I think it's completely understandable. I mean, I think the people doing the Broadway production, it's a clear breach of copyright. Like, it's their songs, they should be paying for the songs, they should be paying for the royalties. Just like if you want to put on Les Mis, you got to pay for the rights for it. But whereas this film, I can totally see why they're not, because if they go after them, it seems like that's almost what the filmmakers want, because then it will generate a lot of publicity for their film, and because Disney already has such a negative reputation for being like so copyright and lawsuit like
Right.
Oriented.
hot.
Yeah. I mean, actually, now that you said that, I think part of why they're doing it is also the publicity of Disney going after this film. Because it's on film and it can be distributed online, even if Disney
Yeah,
decides
it's
to
like
sue
this.
them.
It's gonna somebody's gonna
Yeah.
put it up on
Put a
YouTube
pirated copy,
every,
and so
every
there's no
12
way for
hours.
them to stop it. Whereas a
Right.
production, they can shut it down and
Sure.
it's over.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's the rationale for it. But I still all of the comments about it were like, I don't understand why they're suing one company and not another. But I guess it kind of makes sense in a twisted way.
Yeah.
I was surprised that they didn't catch them shooting the film, and they're really weird about stuff like that. But I was surprised because they have plainclothes security
Right.
guards
Yeah.
all over their amusement park.
But
It's
you're
like-
allowed, if you go on vacation, you're allowed to film your husband walking like through Disney World. So, you
And
know,
actually, they
Well-
show them everything when they got, right?
Yeah.
So the
Mhm.
cameras and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not different from like any other people coming to Disney World to like see.
But it made me think of like the Banksy documentary.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that? They caught
Yeah.
caught them immediately when
Yeah.
they put the Abu Ghraib prisoner art installation
Yeah.
right by the roller coaster. You know, so I was surprised they never caught over 11 days these people coming in
Yeah.
every day
Mhm.
shooting.
I don't know. It's
Yeah.
interesting. Well, Disney and copyright. We'll talk about it again, I'm sure.
I'm
So,
sure.
Quinn, why don't you tell us about being naked?
Naked and Scared No More. Haunted
Ah.
House cancels nude visits. This is from today.com. And it's about this haunted house here in Pennsylvania, close to Reading and Philadelphia, that was doing nude tours. You could either take the nude or prude tour of their haunted house. And the idea being that there's something even more terrifying about going through a haunted house while not having the simple defense of clothing to hide behind. What'd you guys think of this? Would you do the nude tour, teacher?
No, I won't.
You
No.
do?
I would do it.
You would do it?
I think I totally got it. I was like, yeah, it's like your fear, you're just so naked and vulnerable. If you're really into being scared, like, yeah, I love it. Yeah.
It's only $20.
I just kind of in my head was like, oh my god, there's gonna be so many lawsuits of like what, like that was what was going through my head, which I kind of understand why they shut it down. On top of
Well, they everything was on the level legally, but
Yeah.
I guess the Peter Konizelski, the guy who ran it, decided he just didn't want the headache of the inevitable lawsuits from people in the townships.
What would the lawsuits be?
You know, something probably against like public taste
indecency.
and public
Oh,
indecency. and
right.
things
I mean,
like
also
that,
there's
yeah.
the threat of people like starting a lawsuit because like, oh my god, that person like ran into me and they brought everyone's
Right.
naked,
Right.
like,
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
Right, yeah.
So I understand. It sounds fun and like I would be terrified, but I kind of understood his rationale for shutting it down because it would cause so many headaches. But
Well, Jason Cohen writes, this was a very weird article. It boggles my mind why someone would want to visit a haunted house naked. I agree with you, Jason Cohen.
you
Well
wouldn't
put.
do it, Quinn?
I wouldn't do it. It's I don't know. It seems sort of unsanitary, quite frankly. I don't want people grabbing
Yeah,
at me
that's-
while I'm
that's
naked.
what I
and,
think,
yeah.
it's-
Because last time I went to the haunted house and it's like, they say that, okay, the ghost will touch you. And my reaction would be like, really? They're gonna touch me? So that's kind of like this level. And then if I go there naked, completely naked, and what if they touch me? It's like,
Well, some of us, it seems like they want that naked touch.
No, you're lying. No, it's not what I just think it'd be fun. Yeah.
I'll bet.
Could be. Well, that's it for our first segment of News from the
Yeah.
Real World, and we will see you soon for episode 2.
Bye.
I want to be touched naked.
Hey, you said it.